Morning. So we're up to week 19 and numbers first. I'm 80.3 kilograms this morning. So I've put on point 0.4 since last week. And I can't really give you any excuse for that. I mean, I more or less kept to the diet. I mean, I did eat out a couple of days last week. I had 3 meals out, but they were, a couple of lunches, which I picked the healthy choices. So to be honest with you, I can't really tell you why I'm 80.4, apart from I didn't have a very good weekend. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather the weekend. Quite under the weather the weekend, actually. On Saturday I was very feverish and very just lethargic, didn't want to do anything. And Sunday I wasn't good, and I didn't eat like proper meals. I did sort of add a bit of what I call grazing, but it was on, it was on good food. It wasn't on bad food or anything. So I don't know. And of course last week I suspected the reading was a false reading anyway, because of the Sunday where I didn't eat properly and we did a lot of walking. So I'm just, it is what it is. It's 80.03 or 30 or whatever, 80 kilograms, 300 grams, I think it is. So it is what it is, and I'll stick with it and see how I go. I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and hopefully that'll get to the bottom of what's going on with me. But I just don't feel right. Sometimes you go along, you plod along, and I've been feeling a little bit unwell for quite a while, actually, and I haven't been able to put it down to anything in particular. I've been to the doctors once about it, and it wasn't what we thought it was. But hey, I'm going back tomorrow, and I'm going to sit there and say to her, look, I know there's something not quite right, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it. So that aside, the other thing happened this week was on Wednesday, I was going out with my son, and the weather wasn't very good. So I thought I need to wear a pair, because I normally mostly wear 3/4 length trousers or pants. And I thought I need to wear something longer because the weather was rubbish. So went through the wardrobe and I took out all my things that I wear on my legs. So trousers, 3/4 length, whatever. Got them all out and started to try them all on. And all of them, but 3 pairs, were too big for me. And I'm talking over 30 pairs of trousers stroke pants, 3/4 lengths. So rather a lot to get rid of in one go. And I did. I put them all into a charity bag, and I thought, they're going. I'm not keeping them. I'm not going to go back up to the weight, so they've got to go. And when I texted my friend, because we talk quite a lot during the day, I text her things, she said, 30 pairs? How can anybody have that many? Well, I can tell you how I have that many. Over the years, when I came to New Zealand, I was skinny, and I had my skinny clothes from the UK. And then as I got fatter and fatter and fatter, obviously that clothes didn't fit me, and I actually got rid of it. And so I ended up buying what I call bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I got rid of some of the smaller stuff as I went along the way. But since probably for the last 8 years, I've kept everything, because I was working and I just kept everything, because I was always going to go and lose the weight and fit back into these clothes. And a lot of the things I had were like corporate wear, when I worked. And I just hung on to them, and I just thought I'll get back into them, or, I'll wear them one day. And of course, I never did, So I had so many pairs to get rid of. So I took a load of them down to the charity that afternoon, and it felt really good to get rid of them. And then I realised that I didn't really have much to wear on my legs. So I went and bought a pair of 3/4 length jeans, which were a size 14. Now, they were a little bit tight, and they're stretchy ones, but in a couple of weeks, maybe of 3 weeks, they are going to fit me, and they are going to fit me, because I'm going to stick to it. And I ended up buying like a pair, which I've got on now, which is like what I would just call like track pants type things, just to see me through the interim period, because I don't want to spend out and buy a bunch of clothes, you know, if I'm still losing weight, because it's pointless, it's a waste of money. So I can get by with just a few pairs that I've got and see how I go. So that's good. I'm not so upset about putting on that bit of weight this week, because I know I was good, and I know probably my system's probably not right, and I'm not quite right. So I'm not too worried about that. I will get into those elusive 70s eventually. I know I will. So, yeah, so that's been good, apart from the weekend not feeling well. And another thing that happened the weekend is, I can only describe as, we had a weather bomb come through the place. How can I describe it? It was almost like a weird wind thing going on. It was like suddenly we had this massive gust of wind come through last night, and I heard this crack crunch noise, and I thought, oh my God, what's happened? And my husband was outside at the time in the garden, in the veg patch. And he looked up and he literally saw one of the trees that's right by the orchid house. It's a tree that's been topped. So the top's been taken out. And so the branches either side have come up like that. And one of the branches snapped and come down. And unfortunately, it hit the orchid house. Now, it's not really bad damage, but it's taken out a couple of the plastic panels. So one of the panels on the side and one of the roofing panels. So it's put holes and cracked the panels. So we will have to replace that. And to top it all, the temperature plummeted. And I can only describe this. It is so weird in New Zealand, the way that the temperature plummets. We were enjoying temperatures of 25 degrees yesterday afternoon. When that weather bomb or wind bomb, whatever you want to call it, come through, the temperature dropped down to 8 degrees in a very short period of time. So you can imagine, if I had had my orchids out in the shade house, which I'm trying to get out there at some point, it would have been a massive shock for them. It would have probably, might have killed some of them. So I'm glad I didn't have them out there. But to have a temperature drop 15 degrees, more than that, in that short period of time is ridiculous. And then the temperature overnight went down to 2 degrees. So once again, and I knew this was coming, we were warned about it. We were warned about the temperature drop. So I went out in the orchid house after, because now we've got a big hole in the roof. So I zipped down the 2 mini greenhouses and I put the heaters on inside. So at least everything was cozy inside that. So we will have to get that repaired at some point. And today it has been sunny, but it's starting to, the weather is coming in bad again today. So, I'm considering lighting the fire, because it's not good. We're supposed to be getting a heaps of rain this afternoon and tomorrow and Wednesday, and not good on Thursday, and it's maybe warming up Friday. So it is really weird. The weather out here, I will never ever be able to predict it or get used to it. So when I walked the dogs this morning, I walk up the road here and I can see the hills out, an area called Oxford. They got these big hills out there, and those hills were looking all green and lovely a couple of days ago. They're now covered in snow. And hey, summer's round the corner here. Next month is the first month of summer. What is going on with the weather, people? It is weird world over. Anyway, so that's enough about the weather rant. So that's all for this week. Obviously next week, hopefully I will be in the 70s for good, properly stay in the 70s. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Thanks for all your support. And I've had a couple of new subscribers, so that's brilliant. I'm really happy about that. And I'll catch up with you next week. Bye.